Hey, greetings, everyone, and welcome to the video edition of STL Soccer Talk at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and stltoday.com. She's Beth O'Malley. I'm Tom Timmermann, beat writer for St. Louis City SC.
There you go.
The Post-Dispatch.
Yep.
You would think after the year I'd have learned the name of the team.
It is a little bit of a tongue twister.
And I was caught in between what I was going to say there, which is often happens. And unfortunately, like if I was typing, I would just delete and start again. But no, now we're recording this for posterity. This is an off week for St. Louis City. There's no games this week. They will have an inter-squad scrimmage at the end of the weekend. A couple players on international duty. Jabulo Blom was off in South Africa. Indiana Vasilev been invited in with the U.S. Olympic team, so he's in Phoenix for an Olympic camp right now, and that's a big thing. Obviously, they're just starting to put together what the Olympic team for Paris next summer will look like, but they don't have a whole lot of time because it happens pretty soon, and they only have like 4 training camps, and this is the first of 4. So he's in there for right now, and which is a good thing.
And what is the age requirement for the men's team?
It's an under 23
tournament,
so he qualifies, and they are allowed 3 overage players. And the one complication about it is because of it's in the summer, so most European leagues are shut down. It's not international play dates, so Major League Soccer would be playing through this, so he would be gone for about a month, which maybe only means he might miss 3 or 4 games, depending on how long they last. But he would miss some time here. But the experience you get playing at the Olympics, playing with the world's best in your age group, would be something pretty cool.
Yeah, and just to be able to experience that type of international play is also going to be a benefit to the team as a whole.
Yeah, and one can just picture Indiana Vasilev in Paris, so that's fun in itself. City's not playing this week. Most of the league is not playing this week, but there are a few games which have some tangential effects on City's situation. One in the East and then in the West to see if Dallas can clinch a playoff spot. City, if they win their last game next week, can finish 3rd overall, which would be a pretty good accomplishment considering.
Not bad.
Considering where they started, which was nowhere, and where they are now, is a big deal. I wrote for earlier this week, Monday, about postseason awards, which are coming up, and how Roman Berkey, obviously a very good candidate to be goalkeeper of the year, and Bradley Carnell, leading candidate to be coach of the year. Berkey's name talked about as MVP, but that's going to be that'll be a tougher sell.
It will be a tougher sell. Because as you said last week in the podcast, only one other goalie has ever been named the MVP. This is all knowledge I have gained from our podcast tapings, but I'm putting it to good use here in the video.
So there are, Edu Leuven could be a candidate for newcomer of the year. He'll get consideration for that. And there are nominees in many categories, but those would seem to be the main ones. You're smirking.
I'm not, I'm meaning to. I'm sorry. I'm smiling.
Okay. It's making me lose my concentration. And also, we're at the point where playoff spots, a lot of them are determined, but not all of them. But the interesting thing is, if you look at the finance numbers, if you look at what player salary payrolls are, that St. Louis City, with the 2nd lowest payroll at the start of the season in the league, is in the playoffs. You look at the other end, Toronto, the highest payroll in the league, not in the playoffs.
The highest payroll as of May.
As of May, this is true. It probably now belongs to Miami, which also didn't qualify for the playoffs. So, but Toronto, the LA Galaxy, Miami, Austin, another team that's up there. A lot of teams with the biggest payrolls that spent the most money aren't going to the postseason, while lowly St. Louis City, Montreal with the lowest payroll in the league is going. So actually, I mentioned this on Twitter, it's not about spending the most money, it's spending the smartest money. And there are a lot of teams at the bottom of the standings that are making the playoffs, while teams that have splurged, have plunged, aren't going.
Which could be another argument in Carnell's favor. Not that he put the entire lineup together, but he used the lineup that he was given, and look at where the team is now.
Now, if there was a Executive of the Year award, or, which they don't have, but if they did, you'd have to say Lutz Pfannenstiel did a heck of a job putting together
Yes.
this team.
Yes.
So, hey, we did a podcast this week, which is a long chat with really the most interesting guy on St. Louis City SC, which is backup goalie Ben Lund. And so we have a nice chat with Ben about all sorts of topics.
Yeah, chess is one of them. So if you're a soccer fan who's also interested in chess, you're in luck. Also, a little bit about Berlin, where Ben is from.
Mm-hmm. Though not really into German cinema. I was hoping that we would have a better appreciation for the works of Herzog or Wenders or Fassbinder, but no. But maybe we got him started on that.
Perhaps.
Maybe that's the contribution we
Perhaps.
make to Ben appreciating German cinema better. Anyway, anything else?
I think we're good.
Okay, for a week in which there's not a whole lot going on, we filled these 5 minutes. Check out the podcast, check out the paper, subscribe to the Post-Dispatch if you already don't do it. Lots of information there, lots of coverage on this team. Subscribe to the podcast, the audio version, because lots of information there every week. All sorts of ways to find out about this. So until next week, when we'll be building up to the final game of the regular season, go figure. All year, for months, we were saying it's a long season.
It's almost over.
It's now a short season.
Yes.
It's one game and then playoffs.
Well, the playoffs go
coming.
until December,
And
so it's
December's-
still a long.
It is. There's still a lot to go.
Yes.
So for Beth, for Ali behind the camera, I'm Tom. Until next week, be seeing you.